This is Paducah, Kentucky, rapidly becoming known as Quilt City, USA, home of the American Quilter Society and site of the annual quilt show and contest. The people come from all over, as they did by the thousands, for the American Quilter Society's 1988 show and contest. Overlooking the scenic Ohio River, Jim Smith's Executive Inn served as the headquarters for the American Quilter Society's 1988 show and contest. Better than 400 quilts and wall hangings were showcased in this extensive facility, along with numerous daily seminars. Quilting materials and products were available through an abundance of exhibiting vendors. With $33,000 in prize money, this year's show promised excitement and lived up to that promise. For many, perhaps the highlight of the week was the Friday evening awards banquet held in the Executive Inn showroom. Over 1,200 attended to honor the talent and craftsmanship of those taking top prizes. The president of the American Quilter Society, Meredith Schrader, provided the opening comments for the occasion.
You know, your creativity is mind-boggling. Your workmanship is fabulous. And your patience must be beyond belief. And your perseverance is also beyond belief. And so, to each of you, this is what makes you wonderful quilters, these qualities. But you know, these qualities also make you wonderful, outstanding people. And I'm just delighted to be a part of this quilt explosion. And I am so pleased to welcome you tonight. And this is your night, and I want you to have a wonderful night. And so thank you for being here.
And in first place in the Innovative Piece Professional category is Chromatic Progressions Autumn by Carol Fowler from Oswego, Illinois.
It's called Chromatic Progressions Autumn. Chromatic, of course, refers to the color, and the progressions, that's the color gradations, fabrics that slowly go from one color into another color. So that's what the color is all about. And since the colors I used were very muted, I put them against a brown background, and it reminds me of autumn, which is my favorite time of the year. And so when someone sees this, this is kind of what you might call abstract expressionism. So when someone sees this, I want them to have the feeling I have when I'm walking in the woods on a crisp October day and feeling just wonderful. And so I call it Chromatic Progressions Autumn.
And in first place in the Appliqué Professional category is My Mother Taught Me to Quilt by Faye Anderson from Denver, Colorado.
The quilt was inspired by an old quilt that I'd seen in a book that was appliqué felt, and it had over 140 blocks in it and was much larger. Some of the blocks have been adapted from that design, like the little house that's up here, which occurs several times in the quilt. And this one, and this one, and this one, and the cat up here. But then it was a little hard to see from the photograph exactly what the designs were, and so I decided just to develop my own designs for the rest of the blocks. There are the little white spots that you see here are flat sequins, the ones that do not have facets on them, and then they're secured by a small iridescent seed bead. There's quite a bit of embroidery on the quilt. It is only quilted around the blocks in the center section, but there is heavy quilting in the outside area.
And now comes the biggie, the Best of Show Award, and a prize of $10,000 that's awarded by the American Quilt Society goes to Gypsy in My Soul by Jane Blair from Coxahoken, Pennsylvania. About her quilt, Jane says, Queen Charlotte's crown blocks form a double border and a medallion around a variable star. Appliqué vines and innovative color are an expression of the gypsy in my soul.
Well, this quilt was taken from a basket, which is this one right here, and this was found in my grandmother's cabin way up in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. And the island that they lived on was called Duck Island. And this is where this basket came from. It's an authentic Indian basket, and that's where I got the design from.
Perhaps the aspect of quilting that reflects the greatest new interest is the art of quilted fashions. The enthusiastic anticipation of this year's show was so widespread that a second session of the Saturday afternoon event was scheduled. The Executive Inn's poolside proved to be the ideal setting.
Thought the competition was pretty stiff. There were a lot of garments that we thought came out really, really well in the competition, and it was hard to make a choice because we had such delightful things. And we were impressed with the workmanship, the design, the colors. It's really an enjoyable experience.
I think I've been proved wrong. I thought the lightning didn't strike twice, but lightning struck twice. Here, AQS, Sherry Roberts again, and she gets an extra $100 for using Hawks Valley.
Those attending the show were by no means limited to the activities at the Executive Inn.
Oh, it is absolutely fantastic. It's the first show I've ever attended. I've never even been to a quilt show before, except at the Denver Art Museum, where they have their permanent show. And I can't get over the amount of people here, and I think it's just absolutely marvelous the way all of the merchants in town take part. Anywhere you drive around town, the bank has quilt in their window, the pharmacy, everyone does, and I think it's just marvelous the way the whole town comes out for it.
But nothing is as well organized as this show has been. I'm delighted that people have come from England, from Australia, and I understand some from Switzerland to attend this show. And it is very worthwhile. I hope it will always stay in Paducah.
Trolley tours of the city highlighted historic landmarks, such as the 1860 antebellum mansion known as Whitehaven. No springtime visit to Paducah would be complete without touring the lighted Dogwood Trail. While the 1988 AQS show reigns as the biggest and best to date, the prevailing attitude is, don't miss the '89 show. To all those who assisted and participated in the 1988 event, the American Quilters Society extends deepest thanks and appreciation.